Jang Pyeong shouted a warning, "Everyone, don't be careless." At the same time, Jang Pyeong's phantom sword strikes relentlessly attacked the giant zombie. However, its body showed no signs of scratches. He believed that physical attacks were ineffective against it. Moreover, he had a rough idea of how to take down this muscle-bound zombie now. He looked at Jang Pyeong and said, "Senpai, help me restrain it." Jang Pyeong understood the hint and immediately rushed in, using multiple phantom swords to surround the zombie, controlling its attack range. The muscular zombie thrashed around, attempting to escape by swinging its axe at Jang Pyeong, but he managed to block it with his sword. Jang Pyeong was also busy. He jumped around to its back. The last time he evaluated the fallen hero was through the zombie toxin to control the zombie. He had learned that the zombie toxin could not be burned in a normal way, so the only way left was to burn off the toxin inside the zombie. He threw a few red stones at the monster's back, using some leftover Nethermist reserve to create a hammer. He intended to use his Scarlet Serpent Scale move on this one. Only then could he completely sever its control. Jang Pyeong put all his strength into striking the red stones on the zombie's body. When he saw the Scarlet Serpent Spear enter its body, he created a sword in his hand, engulfed in flames, and directly used the Fire Devourer Flame Bind to strike its back. The monster flew far away, and the flames erupted violently, creating a brilliant scene. It lay sprawled on the ground, its back smoking from Jang Pyeong's meticulous service. Seal Yup stretched languidly. "It can be considered resolved." She exclaimed, "These zombies are quite tough to take down." But Jang Pyeong countered because the monsters have already advanced into Myeongju. Then he explained to Jang Pyeong, "There are still many injured people in safe house number 004. Right now I am using props to mask their presence, but I cannot guarantee how long it will last." Jang Pyeong replied, "Saidu has already briefed them on the overall situation. They will be responsible for taking care of the injured. They have also witnessed your abilities earlier. Finally, you wrapped up the matter. You go ahead, Myeongju needs Jang Pyeong, and let the others handle the injured." He politely said, "Thank you for your hard work, Senpai." He immediately turned and ran towards the city. Sessa looked on. Jang Pyeong urged her when he saw she was still there. "You should return to the city with the others. That's enough for them." She was a bit taken aback, but quickly complied. "So chasing after Jang Pyeong," she shouted to him. "Wait for me for a moment." At the southern gate of Myeongju City, thousands of zombies were blocked right before the walls. The ones holding them back were the people under the command of the tavern. The frightening figure was Ray Seon, in the state of the Crimson Emperor's undying body, using hyper-regeneration to recover. He looked down on the trash approaching, surrounded by Baekdeep in the mimic's Hunger Wolf form to push back the enemy monsters. He said to everyone, "The elders in recovery, use all your strength to protect." As he was attacking, a voice reminded him, "Step back." A fireball immediately shot towards Ray Seon, aimed straight at a monster attempting to ambush. Baekdeep nimbly jumped to another spot, leaping forward to protect others. He contemptuously provoked, "Say Myung, is that all you can do? How many tricks do you have left? If you're skilled, bring them all out." Old Say Myung calmly stroked his beard. Initially, this poison was created by zombies with the highest efficiency, but recently, he accidentally encountered a fire-controlling awakened individual. Indeed, he underestimated him. Meanwhile, Ray Seon was eager to jump in and attack, wanting to take revenge for his senior brother. Suddenly, he was punched straight out of his seat. Ray Seon was furious. It's time to end him. Say Myung coughed up a mouthful of blood, but he did not stop, finishing the fallen hero with a blow to the chest. An explosion erupted, blood and fire mixed together and shot out in all directions like a deadly fireworks display. Ray Seon watched as Say Myung turned into a donut and told everyone, "To strike, we must first capture the king. Only then will the zombies." He stopped mid-sentence, realizing that some zombies were still writhing. Ray Seon did not understand. What is going on? Why are the zombies still able to move? He was unexpectedly attacked when Say Myung used zombie toxin, corpse usurpation, on Ray Seon's body. The old man looked down on him, believing he could kill him. It turned out that Say Myung had used the zombie toxin, soul transfer, sacrificing his life and allowing himself to be controlled by the zombie to save himself, which was why he suddenly came back to life. Ray Seon was extremely surprised to see him resurrected, so he became back to life. Suddenly, Ray Seon's heart began to race, pounding painfully, causing him to cry out in agony. He clutched his wound tightly, blood flowing from his mouth. Ray Seon gritted his teeth and glared at the old man. "What you want to do?" Samyong sneered with delight. "Have you noticed so quickly?" He looked at Ray Seon's wound and explained, "I injected the zombie toxin directly into your body. Once the toxin spreads throughout your body, you'll become my zombie." Ray Seon found this absurd. This might fool a child, but who would believe such a thing? He frowned. Feeling confused, how could this possibly be true? Bu Reixian unleashed his power, let out a shout, and transformed into a Super Saiyan. He used the Crimson Emperor Undying Body, second stage, blazing aura form, raising the temperature to 1000 degrees Celsius. His stamina, strength, and agility all increased as a result. Juahaying Mayong stroked his beard, exposing his teeth that hadn't been brushed for 7 years to mock him. You want to burn yourself to cleanse the zombie toxin? Don't waste your strength. He confidently commanded the undead to rise. The basic type of zombie toxin is only the simplest one. The zombie toxin I use to control the undead is not just one type. Baek Diop beside him was worried. Mr. Reixian. Hai Mayong continued, the powerful undead have given many types of zombie toxin. Undying zombies, immortal zombies. Hu Reixian, anxious, turned to reassure his teammates. You don't need to worry about me. Near safe house number 3, the towering zombies suddenly became aggressive, shocking Team John Mayong. What? Juahaying Mayong controlled all 3 zombies at once to engage Bu Re in combat. Haing Mayong laughed confidently. Let's see how long you can hold out. Bu Reixian looked back. Where is my senior brother? The green-haired man raised his claws and charged forward. Junior, stop me. Seeing his brother transformed into a zombie, Bu Reixian yelled in anger, I will never forgive you. Juahaying Mayong snorted contemptuously, using his ugly, filthy hand to control the ace in the hole, saying, It seems you still don't understand the situation. If you remember your brother so well, Juahaying Mayong roared, directing the gigantic zombie to charge at him, then you might as well go with him. Bu Reixian was in a life-threatening situation, slowly being killed off by the group. He focused his strength into his fist, decided he had to strike quickly for a quick victory. Bu Reixian blocked the attack from the massive zombie with a punch, sending several weaklings nearby flying like weeds. He was affected significantly and spat out blood. Consider it a fortunate accident. Just when it seemed he would die, he succeeded in punching the giant zombie away. Hu Reixian, exhausted, let his arms drop and carefully wiped the blood from his mouth. Looking at his hand, which was gradually being affected by the spreading toxin, Bu Reixian felt a tinge of fear. This zombie toxin really spreads fast. The small monsters rushed in like a mouse escaping, not giving Bu Reixian a moment's rest. He thought silently, not enough yet. Hu Reixian continuously dodged, seizing the opportunity to devise another plan. Unleashing the Crimson Emperor's undying body, the energy of the final form was still insufficient. If this continues, I will also turn into a zombie. He glanced over at the others who were also struggling against the swarm of maggots. If I'm defeated, the North Gate will be completely overrun. Bu Reixian imagined the worst-case scenario at that moment. Could it be that heaven wanted to annihilate my own Jew city? Suddenly, a clear scream echoed from afar. Ryu Sasa and Jang Pyeong had arrived just in time to assist. She spoke while running. The situation on the other side, according to the Barrier Roots intel, the sect leader of the Beast King School Grandmaster has been imprisoned. Ryu Sasa quickly used her ice arrows to take down a few enemies, prioritizing rescues. Jang Pyeong supported her blind spots guide. Bu Reixian had reached his limit, but when he saw 2 allied members arriving, he still tried to focus. Who are they? Ryu Sasa cleared a path to reach Bu Reixian faster while shouting, Stempe, hang in there. Her ice block struck the group of henchmen around Bu Reixian, causing him to quickly find an opportune moment to strike. There's a gap. He exerted his energy to the point of spitting blood. Bu Reixian shouted, then threw a punch into the sky. This is the Beast King's first adamantine body. He covered his wound and approached Jang Pyeong, advising, Young brother, quickly go back, it's dangerous here. Jang Pyeong calmly reassured him, Senpai, you don't need to worry, I am prepared for this. He seriously looked at his wound. Let me treat your injury first. Bu Reixian hesitated. But this wound of mine, without delay, Jang Pyeong used pure blood body to liquefy and enter the inside of his wound. Bu Reixian was startled, not understanding what he was doing. Young brother, Jang Pyeong explained inside his body to reassure him, Don't worry, senior, this is my healing technique. Bu Reixian didn't understand what was happening, but he could only trust him. This method is indeed strange. Looking at his hand, the poison had stopped spreading. His body gradually regained strength, surprising him a bit. Not only is the external wound healed, even my stamina has recovered. Young brother, you truly have skills. Jang Pyeong opened his eyes wide and said, Unfortunately, I can't cure the poison on the senior's body. At most, I can only control the spreading toxin. Hu Reixian clenched his fist, allowing his flames to envelop his entire hand. You can control the zombie toxin, very good. That's enough. Jang Pyeong ordered the system to assess him. Assessment successful. Name, Bu Reixian. Physical strength, Beast King School Grandmaster. Innate talent, Crimson Emperor, undying body. Healing speed increased by 200%, can control heartbeat. Activation, activate blazing bloodline, unleashes a terrifying high temperature, simultaneously enhances overall physical quality. When body temperature reaches 6,000 degrees Celsius, can enter solar flame form. Strength increased tenfold, heals all unusual forms, and evolves Crimson Emperor's raging flame into true fire. He smirked, spreading his legs apart and adopting a stance. Excuse me, junior brother, give me a little more time. I will go deal with this being that is neither human nor demon. Jang Pyeong, in the body of Bu Rei Seon, observed the situation outside and thought to himself, it's easy to say, but the opponent is a falling hero. I better assess the strength of the sect leader first. Jua Hyang Myong stood arrogantly among the horde of zombies. Become my living corpse. Bu Rei Seon spat at him. Don't you dare. His system received the command, displaying Bu Rei Seon's information panel. Assessment successful. Attribute interface. Name. Bu Rei Seon. Physical strength, Beast King School Grandmaster. Level, top awakened being 38. Bu Rei Seon tilted his head back and roared loudly, raising his temperature. Immediately, flames erupted violently from his body. His current body temperature was 3,000 degrees. All of his physical strength, power, and speed increased significantly. Bu Rei Seon moved faster than the Flash, charging straight toward Jua Hyang Myong, sending the surrounding undead flying like trash. He got close to the old man, affectionately raised his hand high, preparing to unleash his technique. You old man! Bu Rei Seon punched Jua Hyang Myong squarely in the chest, leaving him no time to evade and taking the full force of the fiery punch. Jang Pyeong spoke from inside. Senpai, I dare to assess. The life of this person is bound to the recently reanimated corpse. To kill him, we must dispose of the reanimated corpse as well. Jua Hyang Myong chuckled mockingly, grasping Rei Seon's arm. You won't be able to kill me. The zombies under Jua Hyang Myong's control immediately charged towards Bu Rei Seon. Bu Rei Seon responded in time, raising the temperature. He raised his body temperature to 4,000 degrees, burning Jua Hyang Myong like a skewered piece of meat. Too bad there's no salt or pepper that make it taste better. Bu Rei Seon used Jua Hyang Myong's body to ignite each zombie one by one. He looked up at the sky, still unsatisfied. Not enough yet, my brother. Is there any way to quickly raise my temperature? Jang Pyeong rubbed his head, thinking, my flames aren't capable of reaching the heights of yours, so I can't help much. Suddenly, an idea struck him and he exclaimed, that's right, this should help. Jang Pyeong extended his arm from within and handed him an item. He dropped 4 serpent scales into the old man's hand. Bu Rei Seon was surprised and reached out to receive them. With good stuff like scarlet serpent scales, why did you bring them out earlier? Jang Pyeong's voice quieted down. In the beginning, you didn't ask. Bu Rei Seon didn't hesitate and swallowed all 4 at once. Jang Pyeong nervously watched him, thinking to himself, great, this is the true fire devourer. The flames on Bu Rei Seon's body suddenly calmed down. He stood still under the horde of zombies that were being fueled by the serpent scales. The explosive energy created a large shockwave, sweeping away all the unfortunate zombies within a 5-meter radius. Ryusa-sa, who was fighting, turned to see what was happening. What happened? The werewolf admired, staring intently at Bu Rei Seon. I didn't expect that while still alive, I could see that form of the sect leader. Bakduke smirked, well aware that victory belonged to the team. It seems the battle is about to end. As the shockwave slowly dissipated, it revealed Bu Rei Seon. His entire body emitted pure white flames, and with the blue fire spraying out, he was undoubtedly powerful. This is the Crimson Emperor undying body in solar flame form. The body temperature has reached 6,000 and all toxins have been healed. Jang Pyeong was awestruck, continually marveling. This form is too domineering. At this temperature, even the fire devourer would struggle. Bu Rei Seon asked Jang Pyeong, my brother, this medium form carries a great burden on my body. Please continuously treat me. Jang Pyeong assured, leave it to me. I got this. He told his teammates behind him, you all step back, don't get hurt. Everyone knew how powerful this form was, so they hurriedly ran outside. You heard that right? Go back to the city. Jua Hyang Myong was gradually recovering from his burned body. He looked at his hands in confusion. How is it possible? The zombie toxin I left in his body has disappeared. Jua Hyang Myong shouted. All troops, listen up. He pointed directly at Bu Rei Seon's face. Capture him for me. Bu Rei Seon calmly took a deep breath and unleashed the flames. This is the Beast King's secret technique. Primordial chaos unification. He swept in a circular motion, causing all the rushing zombies to be blocked. They were all engulfed by the large flames to the point where they couldn't even let out a sound. They only had time to scream before being incinerated to the point where not a trace of flesh or bone remained. Looking at the pile of zombies that had turned to dust, Mu Rei-seon calmly announced, 20,000 zombies have burned to ashes. Ryu Sesel was shocked by his power, her mouth agape in amazement. That's terrifying. Among the people I know, his strength at least ranks in the top 3. Suddenly, a person ran in hastily, reporting urgent news. It's not good. The sect leader of the 2 remaining martial arts schools has betrayed us. The west and east gates have fallen. Hu Rei-seon was astonished and exclaimed, What? O Dong Hao and O Yak Yu? How could they betray us? Zhuo Haiyang Maiyong laughed mockingly without stopping, once again summoning the zombies to rise from the ground. The city of Myeonju has fallen. I won't hold you back any longer. He sat on the elephant's back, preparing to retreat with all of his troops. This time, consider it your victory, but I will leave a position for you. I hope that when we meet again, you can perform as excellently as today. See you next time. Bu Rei-seon threatened, Next time, I will definitely kill you. He looked at everyone and commanded, This is enough with me here. Everyone else return to the city for support. Bu Rei-seon turned to Jang Pyeong and said, Brother, the zombie toxin has been purged. You should go back too. Jang Pyeong nodded hesitantly, secretly thinking, If I say it now, will I melt when I go out? Inside the city, everything was descending into chaos as mutant beasts appeared everywhere, with citizens hurriedly evacuating while continuously screaming, There are mutant beasts! Run quickly, help! Organize the defense, hurry! Wang Tekmayong stood high, watching the city descend into chaos and laughed in delight. Take your time to enjoy this, he grinned widely. This is the impact that should be felt now that our Jew family has left Myeonju. Behind him, 2 of his subordinates, having completed their mission, immediately approached their master. Wang Tekmayong didn't need to turn around to know they were his people. How far has everything progressed? His brother Taek Jun reported. About 1,000 mutant beasts have entered Myeonju, all under our control now. Hwang Tekmayong was pleased. Good, you all control the mutant beasts to attack the Lord's mansion. The sooner, the better. His brother Taek Jun was somewhat hesitant about the strategy. The Lord's mansion? Are you joking? Jeongunjeong is at the Lord's mansion. He explained, when the mutant beasts get close, they will be affected by the goddess's blood in her body. The one with hair covering one eye questioned, That's true. Even the heavenly eternal fox will become her servant. So how do we take her away? Wang Tekmayong frowned. What do you understand? Jeongunjeong hasn't fully awakened yet. Her mind is now no different from that of a child. She will unconsciously and passively control all the mutant beasts around her. He clarified his plan. If a large number of mutant beasts approach her, her powers will spiral out of control due to overload. At that time, the Lord's mansion will fall into chaos. That's when your opportunity will be to take Jeongunjeong away. Inside the Lord's mansion, Jeongunjeong sat on the throne with the leading mutant beast standing beside her. Below were the lower-ranked ones kneeling before her. She dreamily allowed the mutant beast to lick her face. Witty, stop licking. It's ticklish. Jeongunjeong gradually became more alert and rubbed her eyes. She opened her eyes and looked around, puzzled and curious. Where did the others go? In her eyes, all the mutant beasts were granted citizenship. Switching black to white, Jeongunjeong was surprised. Why are there so many Xiao Bai here all of a sudden? She looked up at the mutant beast holding her, staring curiously. You look very strange. What exactly are you? Without thinking much, Jeongunjeong calmly walked around, looking at all the mutant beasts and complimenting them. You all are very cute too. Wang Tekmayong, hiding during the observation, thought to himself, It really isn't my data. He spoke softly enough for his subordinate to hear. The presence of a large number of mutant beasts was beginning to drive her crazy. Jeongunjeong casually stepped out onto the balcony, squinting to survey the city. Why are there so many Xiaobai outside? In Jeongunjeong's eyes, all she saw were the shiny round shapes that dazzled her vision. So many indeed. Jeongunjeong's mind was gradually becoming unstable. She frowned, sweat pouring down like rain. Xiaobai, please. Jeongunjeong lost her composure, sitting down and screaming. Please, Xiaobai, don't come here anymore. Her screams echoed throughout the city, reaching outside from the balcony. Below, where the citizens lived, a girl was running frantically searching for her mother. Mom, where are you? Mom. A large mutant beast was chasing closely behind Yu Yu. The little girl screamed, Mom. Suddenly, 2 outstretched hands appeared. Jang Pyeong and Ryu Sa had heard Yu Yu's screams and rushed to the rescue just in time. Jang Pyeong pried the mutant beast's mouth open to prevent it from swallowing the little girl. Get away. Ryu Sa tightly hugged Yu Yu, causing the girl to exclaim joyfully, Sister. Jang Pyeong, furious, felt flames starting to erupt from both hands. You trash. He yelled while roasting the mutant beast to a crispy finish. Can you stop running around like crazy? Yu's mother hurried over. Are you okay? The little girl, frightened, rushed towards her mother. Mom. The mother looked at Ryu Sasa and Jang Pyeong with a grateful expression. Thank you very much. Ryu Sasa reminded, you two should hurry up and leave here. Jang Pyeong glanced at her. In front was a densely populated residential area that couldn't allow them to advance any further. Ryu Sasa agreed with a nod, understanding his intention. She took out the walkie-talkie and ordered everyone. Members of the cleaning team initiate local defense while others organize the evacuation of civilians. Everyone in the team responded loudly and clearly. The mutant beasts had also gathered around the two of various sizes and species. Ryu Sase carefully observed, thinking to herself, it's hard for me to defend against so many mutant beasts without destroying this building. Jang Pyeong thought of the best way to attack. He just needed time to evacuate others and could keep as many as possible. Suddenly, a group of mutant beasts emerged. The white wolves howled, causing those behind them to become less aggressive. Jang Pyeong looked confused at their behavior. What is wrong with these mutant beasts? Through the radio, Ryu Sasa also heard a similar situation. Captain, the mutant beasts over here have all stopped. Ryu Sasa was confused. What's going on? On Jeon Gun-jong's side, she suddenly flew up high, leaving Hwang Taek-myong stunned. What is happening? He looked up at her. Could it be? Jeon Gun-jong gradually opened her eyes, her entire being radiating a tremendous power that spread rapidly throughout the area around her. Not stopping there, the intensity of the power was increasingly spreading outward. Hwang Taek-myong's subordinates exclaimed in panic. All the mutant beasts in our city have lost control. Hwang Taek-myong was shocked and disbelieving. What? He was sweating. The thing he feared had finally come. Damn. Could it be that the goddess's blood within the Saintess is completely awakened? What bad luck. This 1% chance was actually triggered by her. Jeon Gun-jong suddenly flew away. There were many stay alibi over there. When Hwang Taek-myong saw her run off, he became even more panicked. Shit. He hurriedly lifted his plump body and sped off after them. Hurry up and catch up. Suddenly, he felt a special pressure, causing his body to freeze, almost kissing the ground. Hwang Taek-myong glanced back, thinking to himself, this pressure can only be generated by a regal-level mutant beast. He imagined a massive creature with unmatched strength and couldn't help but consider a possibility. Could it be that King Yu has awakened? Hwang Taek-myong stopped and contemplated carefully. Could it be that Jeon Gun-jong has awakened King Yu early? If that is the case, his two subordinates caught up to him, puzzled by his sudden stop. What are you doing here? Hwang Taek-myong ordered. You all should contact the others who have infiltrated Myeongju City to capture Jeon Gun-jong. I still have some matters to attend to. Chu Taek-jun immediately obeyed and ran off. Watching both of them leave, Hwang Taek-myong had some thoughts. The awakening of King Yu means that the Heavenly Eternal Fox now has king-level combat power. At this moment, if I expose myself, it would surely mean death. Looking back, his shadow resembled a strange demon waiting to explode. He sighed and thought, it's safer to just see what happens. Inside the city, after the attack by the mutant beast, everything lay in ruins, suffering immense damage. Baek-deok shouted to the whole team, everyone should work in groups of 3 and gradually eliminate the remaining zombies. The entire team responded in unison. Understood. After assigning the mission to the team, he turned to ask about Grandmaster Bu Rei-seon's condition. How is the sect leader's body? Grandmaster Bu Rei-seon lightly touched his muscles and replied, I'm fine. Jang Pyeong has healed most of my wounds. I'm just a bit tired. A short rest will be enough. Baek-deok angrily punched a nearby rock, causing it to shatter. He could only vent his frustration on the lifeless object. Damn, that sect leader group is worse than the mutant beast out there. Grandmaster Bu Rei-seon patted his shoulder to comfort him. Now that things have come to this, we can only quickly clear out the zombies at the southern gate. Baek-deok was a bit more composed. Sect leader. Grandmaster Bu Rei-seon continued and then turned back to the city to offer support. He turned his gaze towards the ruined city. Look at the situation here. If we can only save one person, then at least it will be one more. Suddenly, 2 young men who were eavesdropping discovered something and shouted loudly, Quick, look over there to the north. A group of awakened persons is coming. Could it be reinforcements? The group approached arrogantly. Their leader said loudly, Control those people for me. Not a single one of them must enter the city. Both young men immediately realized. The Blazing Sun Martial School. This is trouble. The subordinates of Oyak Yu, hearing the order, shouted loudly, Understood. Grandmaster Bu Rei Xian, upon seeing the enemy troops, made his stance clear. Yak Yu, how dare you show your face here? He quickly ordered his team to regroup. Everyone prepared to engage. Baek Div explained to everyone the reason for fighting. The Blazing Sun Martial School has abandoned the Western Gate, putting Myeonju City in danger. The two young men who thought reinforcements had arrived were surprised to find it was the enemy and quickly ran back. What good does it do you, you scoundrel? Bu Rei Xian angrily asked Grandmaster O, why have you betrayed Myeonju City like this? He simply laughed mockingly. Then he asked Bu Rei Xian a profound question. Grandmaster Bu, have you ever thought about changing your life? Bu Rei Xian was confused. What do you mean? He pointed at him. Look, this Myeonju City, Yak Yu has created a scene where the entire city is engulfed in flames. Thousands of those lights may shine, but they are fragile. Every year, hundreds of people die from mutant beast attacks. It seems that we can only protect 1/3 of this land. He continued, have you ever thought that if we tried our best to create a king among humanity, what would that scene look like? Yak Yu imagined himself taking over the world as long as a king was born in the village saint. Don't talk about this small Myeonju City. Even to the ends of the earth, all of humanity will no longer be the plaything of mutant beasts. Bu Rei Xian looked at the old man with contempt. So it turns out to be like this? The Academy is preaching the theory of human supremacy. Are they your people in our domain? Yak Yu showed no regret and spread his arms wide. That's right, but unfortunately, they have all been chased away by you. Otherwise, you could have been one of us. Bu Rei Xian took a combat stance, mocking. Become a part of your group. Then wouldn't the whole Myeonju City have to die with you? Both teams were ready to charge at the signal. Yak Yu calmly outlined his plan. Rest assured, this time we only want to take away a crucial figure for the birth of the king of the holy ancestor, who will not completely destroy Myeonju City. Of course, if you all just stand still and do not enter the city to report, that I won't lay a hand on you. Bu Rei Xian would never agree quietly. What if we choose to ignore you? Yak Yu saw there was no room for negotiation and charged forward. Then there is only one way, that is to truly take you down. In the North City Park Forest, Jang Pyeong flew here, controlling the entire mutant beast crowd. Jang Pyeong and Ryu Sese hid nearby, observing. Is that Jang Pyeong? Jang Pyeong looked up. Did the mutant beast suddenly stop moving because of her? He quickly ordered the assessment system. The system announced a successful assessment displaying the attribute panel. Name, Jang Pyeong. Race, human. Fallen hero. Innate ability, oddness is blood. The blood in her body has the ability to influence all life forms. For living beings, it will greatly enhance them. All creatures will have a likelihood of being tamed and becoming fervent followers. Those who drink the holy blood will not be able to use this energy and will encounter misfortune repeatedly. Jeon Gunjeong looked at the mutant beasts and praised them. There are so many Xiao Bai. You are really adorable. Jang Pyeong was astonished when he read the new information. So she has actually become a fallen hero? Ryu Sese was startled and surprised. What? How was that possible? When she saw two people running over, Ryu Sese hastily pulled Jang Pyeong to hide. Someone is coming. The hair covering one eye hesitantly asked, What now? Should we go back? Chu Taek-jun scolded him. What nonsense are you talking about? Our mission is to bring this girl back to the Ju family at all costs. The hair covering one eye seemed reluctant and argued. But you saw on the way. Jang Pyeong and Ryu Sese were hiding nearby, thinking they were from the Ju family. The hair covering one eye appeared worried. There are zombies everywhere in Myeonju City now, and our mutant beasts are all controlled by that girl. To make matters worse, those people can't contact us. The hair covering one eye stated plainly, relying on just the two of us, there's basically no way to complete the mission. Chu Taek-jun was unhappy to see him discouraged like that. Don't say such things. Even if we have to die, we have to fight fiercely. Suddenly, a voice echoed, interrupting their conversation. Who would have thought the Ju family would be the kind of people to do such things behind our backs, and along with this bunch of trash too? Both immediately became alert and looked around. Who? The two unexpected visitors immediately revealed themselves. You are braver than the people from the Ju family that we encountered. Therefore, I will consider my options. Jang Pyeong quickly assessed the two new arrivals. The attribute panels of both appeared. The one with the giant snake is Jo Eonryang, possessing the innate ability Saint of the Three Bloods. The blood contains extremely potent stimulants that can continuously enhance his strength, but it is also highly toxic. The one who possesses a tiger is Jo Yeom Ho, also with the innate ability Saint of the Three Bloods. The blood has a strong, attractive scent that can draw all nearby creatures towards it. The less intelligent the creature, the easier it is to attract. Jang Pyeong swiftly drew his weapon. I have completed the assessment. These individuals are indeed from the Holy Ancestor. Moreover, their abilities are quite similar to Jang Pyeong. Ryu Sisel quickly stood up. This might be an important clue. We need to find a way to capture them and extract information. With one eye covered by hair, he cautiously reminded, at this moment, we can only attempt this once. There may still be a glimmer of hope. Ju Taek-jun nodded. Let's take the risk. Both of them immediately rushed towards the enemy. Let's go. The toxin quickly seeped into the body of the one-eyed boy, making it a bit difficult for him to move. His vision instantly became blurry due to being severely poisoned. They both paused, feeling their bodies ache like they were being crushed. This is Jo Eon-raun took the opportunity to command the two beasts to charge at them. The more chaotic you are, the faster you'll die. Ju Taek-jun warned, be careful. There's poison. Both of them exerted their strength to hold off the monster, but Ju Taek-jun was too weak and was bitten by the tiger. Seeing that they had the strength to fight back, Jo Eon-raun complimented. Not bad, but sadly you won't last long. I advise you to give up resistance and obediently become zombies. The one-eyed boy shouted, we won't surrender that easily, don't even think about it. Jo Hyum-ho noticed something was wrong and quickly wanted to pull them back. Brother, get down. A loud explosion erupted, causing everyone nearby to be hit. As the smoke cleared, the two beasts were heavily injured, lying on the ground. Jo Eon-raun was lucky to save his life, while Jo Hyum-ho escaped death with a start. Shit, I almost went along. Thankfully, that mutant beast took the hit for us. Jang Pyeong flew over, curiously looking down. How did you two get injured? Jo Hyum-ho was startled to see her. Saintess. Jang Pyeong descended low, starting to use healing magic. Don't be afraid, I will help you heal. Both young men hurriedly knelt down to pay their respects. We pay our respects to the great Saintess. We have come to welcome your return. Jang Pyeong completely ignored the two and focused on the two injured beasts. There are harmful things inside you. I will help you get rid of them. Alongside Jang Pyeong's healing, both of their bodies began to react. Jo Hyum-ho panicked and clenched his hands tightly. What is happening? Why do I feel like my Saint of the Three Bloods has lost its effectiveness? Jo Eon-raun was confused. Weren't we told the Saintess hasn't awakened yet? Why is it? Both of their bodies reacted violently and became painfully intense. They had to scream for the Saintess to stop. If you forcefully erase the Saint of the Three Bloods from the mutant beast's body, who will have to endure that reaction? The tiger gradually regained consciousness. Both beasts, having been treated for their wounds, stood up and walked normally. Jang Pyeong appeared cheerful. This is much cleaner now. Both creatures clung to her as if she were their owner. Jang Pyeong smiled gently and patted the tiger's head. Do you not like this place? Then let's go. I will take you and the other Xiaobai somewhere else. The three of them strolled away. Jo Hyum-ho forced himself to stand up. This is the suppression of bloodline. Could it be that the Saintess is in a fully awakened state now? Jo Eon-raun rubbed his head, confirming it. We can no longer guide the Saintess back to Village Saint through the bloodline relationship. Jo Hyum-ho helped his brother at his feet. Jo Eon-raun appeared helpless. Damn, there's nothing we can do. We can only meet His Majesty the Patriarch first and then figure it out. Ryu Sasel frowned, the religious leader of Village Saint. Has that person also come to Myeongju City? Jang Pyeong looked at her curiously. Who is that? Why do I feel like you seem very? Ryu Sasel provided information to him. Her name is Ai Yo-seol. She was the second-generation lord of Myeongju City. Now, she is the most wanted criminal of the cleaning team. Ryu Sasel, angry, recalled the not-so-pleasant memories. She killed my master, and the scar on my face was also caused by her. She is very strong, no less than our team leader. We must find out whether this non-human being has come to Myeongju City or not. Ryu Sasel returned to the main issue. Previously, we had no way to control Jang Pyeong, but we can control these two individuals. Jang Pyeong clenched his fists. Jang Pyeong and the mutant beast have gone far, so we may need to take action. Ryu Sasel drew her bow and quickly shot a freezing arrow. The arrow flew quickly, causing both of them to react immediately. Jo Eon-raun hurriedly pushed his younger brother away to dodge the arrow. Oh no, there is someone else in the dark. To save his brother, Jo Eon-raun was aimed at by Ryu Sasel, who pointed his sword directly at his shoulder, causing his shoulder to freeze. She shouted, "Stay still." Jo Hyum-ho panicked. Brother! Without making him wait long, Jang Pyeong rushed in, tightly binding him with his mist, successfully capturing both brothers. Jang Pyeong glared threateningly at Jo Eon-raun. If you dare to release the poisonous bones, I assure you, he will die a miserable death. Ryu Sasel got straight to the point. What is your purpose for coming to Myeongju City? Tell me, has Ai Yo-seol arrived? Where is she? Jo Eon-rang smiled lightly. I have nothing to say. Ryu Sasa decisively struck Jo Eon-rang with a blow for his arrogant remarks. Jang Pyeong smiled gently, gripping the boy's shoulder. You may not speak, but she definitely will. I will take responsibility for your treatment, and will never let you die easily. Jo Eon-rang shuddered. You demon scum. Then came his scream, echoing tragically through the air. In the office, Ryu Sasa contacted Captain Sadu. I have found a very important clue. He slowly asked, Ryu Sasa, what is going on? Ryu Sasa immediately reported, Jang Pyeong and I captured 2 people from the village saint. According to their explanation, one of the purposes of the village saint this time is to take Jeon Gunjam, who has awakened the female bloodline. Ryu Sasa hesitated for a moment and then continued. Aido Seal is also in Myeonju City. Segyu furrowed his brows, looking serious. I understand. You too continue to interrogate the people from the village saint. If the worst happens, I will personally take action. Ryu Sasa replied obediently. Sadu turned to Manny. Manny, prepare the teleportation. Manny looked a bit surprised. Captain, are you really going to activate the Sovereign of Sun and Moon in Myeonju City? She showed concern for him. The Sovereign of Sun and Moon in Myeonju is hidden in the city square, and once activated, you will be exposed. If the ruler of the Heavenly Eternal Fox does not appear, it will be very dangerous if your identity is revealed now. Sudyu pondered and explained to her. The original plan was to lure the ruler of the Heavenly Eternal Fox out first, then have you hold him back. This way there would be no obstacles in the process of activating the Sovereign of Sun and Moon in Myeonju. But now, Ai Yoseol has shown up. Due to her unpredictable behavior, she will definitely bring many variables. Sadu could only take a risk. Now I can only gamble this one time. Before they can react, let's activate the Sovereign of Sun and Moon in Myeonju. This is the only way to save Myeonju City now, so it cannot be delayed. In the square of the monument, where there were no people passing by, Sadu led his army through the teleportation gate to a more convenient place. The old man looked into the distance. The entire city of Myeonju is in chaos now. At this rate, public sentiment will change, forming a turbulent trend. Sadu felt a sense of worry in his heart. I can stop the Jew family, I can stop the beasts, but how can I prevent the greater fate in people's hearts? Ayoseol suddenly stepped towards Sadu. Do you want to rely on the Sovereign of Sun and Mu Myeonju to make a final effort? Manny was surprised to see her. Why are you here? I clearly checked and there was no one in the square. Sadu, noticing that the plan had been discovered, felt somewhat frustrated. It's over. It seems the plan won't go smoothly. Manny ordered the entire team to prepare for battle. Ayoseol was confident, as if victory was already in her grasp. Failure means giving up the struggle. From the moment you appeared here to deal with the threat of the zombies, I have already won. Sadu sighed wearily and said, I hope you awaken. Why are you so obsessed with winning or losing? Have you ever thought that your way of ruling humanity goes against the world's rules? Forcing a change in the rules will lead to consequences for all you Beast Kings worldwide. Furthermore, what will happen to humanity if we cannot break through to the king level? Ayoseol resolutely looked at the old man, confident in her plan. I will not fail. Sadu appeared angry, his eyes shining brightly before he lashed out at the innocent. You have cooperated with Jua Hyang Mayang. When you do not hesitate to use any means necessary, it means you have already lost. You are on the path of demons, not the path of a ruler. Ayoseol remained completely oblivious to her wrong and dirty actions. There is an ancient saying, one general's success leaves countless bones. Moreover, if I want to walk the path of a ruler, how can there be no bloodshed? Whether through deception or the path of a ruler, ultimately, the victor is still the king. Sadu is still trying to pull her out of the mud. The more she stepped into her ambitions, the more people she would kill. Some would even be dragged to that place of eternal doom. Ayoseol could only laugh blandly. She waved her hands around, beginning to attract a swarm of zombies. I had no hope of convincing him, so I brought some people here. Ayoseol thought to herself, once the Sovereign of Sun and Moon Myeonju is activated, it will soon attract the Heavenly Eternal Fox King. This cannot be allowed. At least wait until I take the Saintess away. Then let it manifest to deal with Saibei. She smiled softly and declared, today, no one should even think about activating the Sovereign of Sun and Moon Myeonju. Sadu glanced at the one wearing the ring Yu Song-ha. Are you now the Lord of Myeonju? And even you. Yo Song-ha was completely on Ayoseol's side. Brother Saibei, the Heavenly Eternal Fox is extremely formidable. Sister Yoseol is right. Humanity needs a king. We should unite, not be scattered as we are now. Sadu gazed at him thoughtfully. Ayoseol is not a wise leader. She will not succeed. Yo Song-ha closed her eyes and nodded. That may be true, but Sister Yoseol is not wrong. There are things that need to be done by someone, regardless of whether the outcome is good or bad. A leader is someone conservative, and I know I can't convince you. Both armies began charging and tearing at each other. Yu Seong-ha shouted loudly, hoping Saibek, the leader, would get out of the way. Said you hovered high above, refusing to yield. Then come here, let this battle decide the fate of Myeong-ju. In the industrial forest of the residential area of Nam City in the distance, a huge explosion had occurred. The explosion made the animals appear alert, which caught Jeon Gun-jong's attention. She curiously looked toward the direction of the rising smoke. What's happening? Why are you so afraid? Ryu Sesao felt the intense tremor, somewhat worried. This energy fluctuation is, Jeon Gun-jong said. Just direct all the beasts toward the explosion. Let's go see. Watching her leave, Jang Pyeong followed with his gaze. Jeon Gun-jong and the mutant beast had been drawn over there. Ryu Sesao exclaimed in surprise. It's the captain. The captain has taken action. She hurried to the scene of the explosion. We should go there for the meeting too. Jang Pyeong looked at her. What about the Zhou family? Ryu Sesao had anticipated this. I've already informed the branch to take care of them. Meanwhile, at the square, people were fighting fiercely. It seemed that Se-du had the upper hand. Se-du and Yoseol separated to fight. He continuously shot magical beams, but she easily dodged them. She began to mock him. Defeat? Is this all the strength you have? Se-du attacked fiercely, not allowing her to escape. Keeping her under control was enough for him. Yoseol was quickly trapped within a solid barrier. She appeared surprised. What? At that moment, she realized his plan, but it was too late. He wanted to temporarily corner her to buy time to recharge the sovereign of Sun and Moon Myeongju. She glanced at Yu Seong-ha and commanded him. Yu Seong-ha, hurry and break the sovereign of Sun and Moon Myeongju. He immediately acknowledged the command with a nod. Hyo Yul, Manny, and John Rack rushed to the front line to protect Se-du. As long as we still have breath, you won't step past this point. Yu Seong-ha angrily charged forward with a weapon in hand. Then you all can go die. He slammed his club down onto the ground, causing the floor to shatter and sending all three of them stumbling backward. Jang Pyeong and Ryu Sesao quickly ran to the scene. He shouted, "Don't get too cocky too soon." Ryu Sesao used the bandages as a shield for all three of them. Jang Pyeong teamed up to rush at Yu Seong-ha. Ryu Sesao carefully checked on Manny. Manny, are you okay? Manny appeared hurried. I'm fine. You hurry and help. Don't let them bother the captain. Ryu Sesao glanced upwards and froze. Yoseol. Jeon Gun-jong slowly floated down, catching Ryu Sesao's attention. The saintess has indeed arrived. Yoseol saw Jeon Gun-jong and thought to herself, Jeon Gun-jong, so the Zhou brothers have already failed. Jeon Gun-jong slowly flew towards Se-du. Yoseol followed her gaze, quietly assessing. Her energy is currently in a state of extreme instability. Could it be that the Adonis's blood has fully awakened and entered the phase of mutation? Jeon Gun-jong stopped in front of the large yellow energy source. She frowned and reached out her hand toward the gigantic energy orb. Is this what makes you feel dangerous, right? But why do I feel so familiar with this? She extended her hand to touch the orb, and immediately, both reacted. The orb swelled, engulfing Jeon Gun-jong and trapping her inside. At that moment, the entire energy was disrupted, and the orb imprisoning Yoseol shattered. The entire army of Se-du was affected, all collapsing to the ground. Yoseol looked surprised at the scene. How can such a large energy fluctuation be produced? Se-du appeared panicked. It's bad. Jeon Gun-jong is now absorbing the energy of Sovereign of Sun and Moon Myeongju. The massive energy radiating from Jeon Gun-jong affected everyone around, causing them to become exhausted. Jang Pyeong carefully approached to support Ryu Sesao. Sesao, are you okay? Jeon Gun-jong looked into the distance. It feels like my father is calling me, she murmured from a very far place. Only Yoseol was unaffected, remaining suspended in midair. Yoseol smiled to herself. It's very good. The energy of Sovereign of Sun and Moon Myeongju has helped the saintess complete the process of shedding her form ahead of time. Jeon Gun-jong hurriedly flew away. Yu Xiaobai grew, come with me. Watching her leave, Yoseol felt secretly delighted. Surely the saintess, after shedding her form, has sensed the call from village saint. This way, she will return to the village on her own without our intervention. Yoseol immediately transmitted information directly into Yu Seong-ha's mind to hide the plan. I have hidden the saintess in the city for over 10 years. Now the final opportunity has come. You quickly inform our people to escort the saintess back. Her strength will help us become kings. Yu Seong-ha replied clearly. Yoseol slowly descended, beginning to think deeply. As for those foxes, they will surely awaken after losing Jeon Gunjeong's suppression. I fear that they have all sensed the commotion in the square. Seol furrowed her brows, carefully considering every step she took. This obstruction could lead to failure. Everything is going according to plan. I must retreat quickly before the heavenly eternal Fox King appears. Seeing Seo leading her disciples close to her, she smiled lightly. Failure. I didn't expect you to have expended so much effort to absorb the power of the Sovereign of Sun and Moon Meong-ju only to benefit me. Originally, it was meant for the saintess to fall into despair and then transform into the Holy Mother, undergoing a complicated ritual in the village saint. Seol leisurely walked away. But now there's no need. This is my divine destiny. Ryu Sasa, unconvinced, charged forward. Stop! I must kill you to avenge my master. Seol looked at her with disdain. Just relying on you? He easily blocked all of Ryu Sasa's attacks, mocking. You little brat don't know your limits. Seol knocked Ryu Sasa back, sending her flying several meters away. It was clear that Ryu Sasa was no match for her. Jang Pyeong rushed over to catch Ryu Sasa. Sasa! He jumped up to hold her to lessen the impact of being pushed back. Despite both of their efforts and having a protective mist, he was still thrown back quite forcefully. Seol no longer stayed to argue with anyone, simply saying, failure. See you next time. John Rack, puzzled, asked, Captain, are we going to pursue her? Seo replied, first, let's deal with the threat in the city. Manny hurried over to check on the two. Jang Pyeong, Ryu Sasa, are you guys okay? Jang Pyeong helped Ryu Sasa up. We're fine, just a little injured. Ryu Sasa frowned in self-reproach. I'm still too weak. Manny became alert upon hearing a loud noise. The mutant beasts and zombies have clearly been taken away by Jeon Gunjeong and Seol. So where is that sound coming from? Seo immediately pointed out, it's the king of the heavenly eternal fox over there. Manny, quickly activate the teleportation. Manny was surprised to see a group of people running toward them. The patrol team. No, they are heavenly eternal fox. Lin Ki-di ordered. Everyone, put down your weapons immediately or we will kill you. No reasons needed. Manny promptly activated the teleportation. Ryu Sasa and Jang Pyeong stepped forward to protect her. Ryu Sasa commanded, summon the ice. Luckily, I reported information about the heavenly eternal fox to the clean team earlier. Jang Pyeong shouted a reminder. The ones charging toward us now are all heavenly eternal fox. Everyone be careful of those invisible attacks. Eyes of Seo gleamed like the light of truth. No need to go, I have decided to confront them. Seo floated high above and said, I will control them. The system announced, brainwave resonance has been activated, causing the entire group of heavenly eternal foxes to experience a headache, just like when Sun Zing recited spells for Sun Wukong to hear. Seo commanded, everyone leave Myeong-ju City. Hyo-jil anxiously called out, Captain. Seo frowned at her and replied, this is an order. Jang Pyeong questioned, why didn't Jeon Gunjeong take the heavenly eternal fox with him? Seo looked at him cautiously and said, perhaps the king of the heavenly eternal fox has initiated some kind of concealment. Let's go, Jang Pyeong. Seeing that everyone had left, Seo felt much more at ease. Very good. I ordered everyone to leave out of concern for their safety. If dealing with the king of the heavenly eternal fox, even with all of you, it would only lead to death. The teleportation gate quickly closed. Seo shouted loudly towards the heavenly eternal foxes. Come forth now. He glared into the distance and said, let me see how powerful you are as the king in this fox den. A terrifying deep voice echoed, you are the strongest human I have ever met. A creature appeared, its entire body pitch black, constantly emanating dark energy just like itself. Your strength is still not enough, the creature said. Seo ordered the appraisal system. After a while, the system announced, heavenly eternal fox skill, distorting perception, overturning common sense. Seo looked at these two strange skills with some confusion. What kind of skills are these? The king of the heavenly eternal fox said little and extended its claw. Seo, unafraid, faced it bravely. Whether I have enough strength or not can only be determined by trying. He dodged its attacks and silently remarked, using the strongest attack skill directly, huh? Seo seized the opportunity to counterattack with high temperature, thinking, melting the inside of its body at high temperature, creating a vacuum to explode outward. The king of the heavenly eternal fox praised. Strong attack, but too bad, it has no effect on me. Seo stared at it in astonishment. Not effective? Could it be distortion of perception? Seo activated the phantom clone, dodging its attacks while continuously striking back. While attacking, he analyzed carefully. That's not right. It's not distortion of perception. Before I engaged, I had blocked my own senses, and it's not a clone either. A clone would disappear when attacked, just like mine. So why is it harmless? I should be able to create a hold to stop this attack even against a mountain. The king of the heavenly eternal fox smirked at the old man. Don't think that just because you know how to use a clone, I can't catch you. He easily captured the old man in the air. Sethu trembled, seemingly realizing his skill. I understand now. This is the effect of an ability called overturning the ordinary. Unlike the distortion of perception, it doesn't affect one's senses, but breaks the common understanding of reality. Temperature, gravity, physics, any ordinary sense of reality is meaningless to it. The king of the heavenly eternal fox squeezed Sethu tightly. Die. Seeing the old man silent, he thought the old man was dead and opened his eyes to check. Sethu opened his eyes in surprise. He was not dead. Sethu smiled faintly. Unfortunately, your ability can only disrupt the common consciousness of yourself. Sethu radiated a great light. It has no effect on me. The entire form of the king of the heavenly eternal fox was enveloped in a golden shield. He suddenly looked around and realized it was a space barrier. No, this is a time barrier. Sethu freely gifted him a meeting present. I give you a package of stagnated time. The heavenly eternal fox king laughed disdainfully, looking around the barrier just created. Even if you imprison me in this space, so what? He bent down, gently pulling Sethu's head like a toy. As long as you die, the barrier you created will disappear. Sethu was not that easy to kill. Suddenly, he became enormous, holding the heavenly eternal fox king in his grasp. It turned out he had created time and space. Death would reset the time around himself, returning to the moment the skill was activated. The heavenly eternal fox king looked around in shock and confusion. What? Gradually, he became intrigued, squinting. You humans are quite interesting. This space was bound by time. If you reset the time of this space infinitely, then I too will be trapped here in an endless loop. Sethu's body slowly regenerated completely. He looked at the old man coming back to life and continued speaking. But because I can break the ordinary rules like time, I myself will not be reset after time returns. King Heavenly Eternal Fox frowned at Sethu, and you won't remember everything that happened. But I want to keep the memories. Kill your family. Each time it breathed fire at the old man, it slowed down the regeneration process. Killing and resurrecting you many times, I won't feel tired or bothered. If I don't kill you, then you can slowly torture me to death. After your family is resurrected, time will eventually heal your wounds. King Heavenly Eternal Fox watched the old man regenerate almost complete in his internal bones, feeling a bit afraid. Humans are truly a terrible race. Or perhaps the rumors heard from other races might not be wrong. The mutant beasts below were frantically tearing apart the humans. King Heavenly Eternal Fox glanced at them and said, as long as they do not stop eating humans, one day the mutant beasts may be able to obtain the potential of humans. It commanded all its soldiers below, all members in the vicinity, immediately extinguish the chaos in Myeongju City and try to keep casualties to a minimum. After all, we still need them to continue reproducing for our enjoyment. In the southern direction of the city, Oh Yak-yu and Bu Rei-seon were still struggling in a fierce solo fight against each other. At that moment, a third party, Lin Ki-di, arrived and blocked both of their punches. Stop it! Bu Rei-seon looked at his actions in confusion. Let go! Lin Ki-di, what are you doing? Lin Ki-di was the one who was confused, scratching his head and asking himself, this city is about to be destroyed and people are still killing each other. What a bunch of fools. Bu Rei-seon pointed at Oh Yak-yu and shouted, he is a traitor to the city of Myeongju? Everyone began to shout, stop it all, stop, be honest with me. Oh Yak-yu thought to himself, the patrol team is already here. If it continues like this, I have to go along with it. Having said that, he did not hold back and unleashed an attack towards Lin Ki-di. You should die too. But before Oh Yak-yu could make contact, he was stopped by an unseen force above him, as if something invisible had grabbed him. Immediately, Lin Ki-di easily took Oh Yak-yu's head. Before Bu Rei-seon's astonished gaze, he thought, when did Lin Ki-di's strength increase to this level? He threw the old man's head to the ground without hesitation. I really didn't expect that our patrol team would only temporarily protect the city lord for a few days, and yet the situation in the city has become this chaotic. He surveyed everyone present there. Everyone, put down your weapons. If you don't, I won't hesitate to kill. Lin Ki-di wiped the blood from his hands and then looked at Grandmaster Bu. I need you to follow me for a moment. I need you to explain to me some of the events that have happened today. Bu Rei-seon did not dare to disobey and replied, understood. In Safe Room 8, Jang Pyeong's team and a few others were taking refuge here. Jang Pyeong held Ryu Sesa's arm. Sesa, calm down a bit. Maddie checked his abilities and found them weakening, confusedly wondering, why is this happening? My abilities are fading. Jang Pyeong also felt it, the rate of exhaustion increasing rapidly, and the feeling of fatigue was much greater than before. Jang Soo-jung joined the conversation. It feels like my weight is also increasing. Ryu Sesel looked at everyone nervously. Could it be? Jang Pyeong frowned at her. What's wrong? She hurriedly contacted Sadu. Captain, please respond if you receive good news. Jang Pyeong looked at her anxiously. Sesa, what exactly has happened? Ryu Sesel looked at her hands, feeling sad. The captain has bestowed blessings upon all the members of our cleaning team. She explained further. A blessing is a rare defensive ability that can grant certain attributes to others almost permanently, unless the one who bestowed the blessing passes away. Otherwise, the power of this blessing will accompany that person for their entire life. The blessing that John Myeong received is a halving of his stamina consumption. John Seol Yoop's blessing is a halving of fatigue. Jang Soo-jung's blessing is a halving of his weight. The blessing Ryu Sese received is the halving of mental energy consumption. Everyone was worried. Maddie bit her lip, holding back her tears. At that moment, everyone's blessing suddenly vanished, indicating that the captain could. Jang Pyeong, confused, recalled old Sadu. How could an existence like Sadu Saibek be wiped out so easily? Suddenly, his bracelet lit up, and the voice of Sadu emerged. An existence in this form won't last long. Immediately, everyone felt relieved and held his hand tightly. Captain, are you okay? Sadu appeared through a somewhat poor illusion. In about a year, I could be completely killed by the heavenly eternal fox because my energy is gradually depleting. Jang Pyeong hurriedly asked, Old Sadu, sir, do you want to contact us through the bracelet now? Sadu slowly replied, No, this is my last resort. Once I die or lose my life, a part of my consciousness will form a virtual personality and transfer to this bracelet. He frowned. Actually, right now, I am just a virtual personality, not my real self. Ryu Sese looked at him anxiously. Captain, what can we do to save you now? Jang Pyeong pondered over what he had said. This means that currently the one living in the bracelet is not Sadu Saibek, but an artificial intelligence possessing a part of his memories. Sadu smiled lightly. Do not worry, the situation is almost exactly as I anticipated. I had a premonition of death when I was in my own Jew, but in death I saw hope. The old man briefly spoke about his battle. The ruler of the heavenly eternal fox is trapped in my time loop. It can only escape when my energy is completely exhausted or the formation is actively released. Therefore, it can only remain in the square and continue to kill me until my energy is completely depleted. Sadu looked up at everyone. It will not be able to act recklessly for the next year. This is an opportunity to defeat the heavenly eternal fox. Can we seize this opportunity? The old man fixed his gaze directly at him. It all depends on Jang Pyeong, the one with infinite potential. When the name Jang Pyeong was mentioned by Sadu, everyone present was astonished. Jang Pyeong? At this moment, John Myeong voiced his objection. Captain, I really do not understand what you intend to do, but placing hope on Jang Pyeong might be a bit... And he also spoke to express his agreement. The potential of Jang Pyeong is indeed very large, but he is still just a primary awakened. But Seisa, on the contrary, agreed with Saju's opinion. I trust the captain's decision. So, what should we do next? Manny still felt a bit dissatisfied upon hearing this, but at that moment, Sadu began to clarify things for everyone. Don't rush like this. What is Trup Fong Bei right now? In the beginning, when you faced off, you awakened the beast control ability of the Ju family, which was truly despairing. At that time, the Ju family possessed countless equipment, including 5 rare treasures, such as the Sovereign of Sun and Mu Myeonju, while we here had nothing at all. Hearing this, Jang Pyeong's expression became increasingly serious. Sadu continued to manipulate everyone's mindset. The reality back then was that you were at a vast disadvantage against the enemy, not to mention lacking weapons capable of countering the mutant Beast King. John Myeong was extremely surprised to hear this. Weapons to deal with the mutant Beast King? Are there really such weapons? Sadu glanced at Jang Pyeong and then replied, Of course there are, but only those with infinite level abilities are qualified to enter that place. And each person with infinite level abilities can only participate once in their lifetime. That is where I brought forth the arrow that can change the world. Everyone was utterly astonished to hear this. Jang Soo-jung exclaimed in shock. So this time, it's Jang Pyeong. Jang Pyeong? Is he really someone with infinite level abilities now? After listening, Jang Pyeong was just as doubtful and broke out in a cold sweat as he spoke. Captain, looking at your arrangement, I see no possibility. Saju seemed not to hear. He placed a hand on Jang Pyeong's shoulder, continuing to manipulate his psychology. This has its advantages for you as well. That place can be considered the foundation of our humanity. You could use those ruins to unlock the secrets of the world that belong only to you. By now, everyone was on the same page. Manny happily took John Myeong's hand and pulled him along. No more wasting time. Let's send off right now while morale is high. However, Sevyu threw a bucket of cold water on them, causing their spirits to drop. Don't be in such a hurry. Before we leave, there are still a few matters to consider. Jang Pyeong, come with me. A moment later, Jang Pyeong followed Seo-do to the cleaning team, safety room number 8. As he walked, he wondered, Captain, is there really no way to save you? Seo-do listened to this with a calm demeanor, even smiling slightly. This is my choice after careful consideration. If I don't stop the heavenly eternal Fox King, there are only 2 possible outcomes, and neither of these outcomes is what I want to see. Hearing this, Jang Pyeong asked, what outcomes? He imagined the scene of Seol and his tribe ruthlessly attacking the city and said, the first situation is that we are unable to stop the attack from Village Saint. As a result, the fate of Myeongju City will fall into the hands of Seol, and about 50% of the Awakened Ones will die in that civil war. Next, in Seo-do's imagination, the Awakened will be brutally slaughtered by the monsters. He continued to say, the second situation is that we successfully prevent the attack from Village Saint, but because of my departure, the heavenly eternal Fox King will personally deal with the masters in the field who have revealed their strength. At that time, at least 30% of the Awakened will not be able to escape. The final scene he revealed was that of Wol Seo-jin using his own hands to trample the masters. Now the king of heavenly eternal Fox is trapped by me, and among them, the strongest is only Wol Seo-jin. In a one-on-one situation, those masters may not be his opponents, but if one person faces many, Wol Seo-jin may not be able to withstand it. He brought Jang Pyeong to the cell where Jo Eon-ryung was tightly bound and continued. Even if he wants to kill and replace all the Awakened Ones who have revealed their strength, it will still take at least 1 to 2 years. Seeing the captive made Jang Pyeong solemn. Indeed, this is the best situation that can be achieved under the current strength. Finally, Seo-do commanded, you go into the cell and get some blood from Jo Eon-ryung. Hearing this request, Jang Pyeong was puzzled. Are you asking me to take blood from Jo Eon-ryung? What good would that do? Seo-do then asked with a serious expression, you have been stuck at level 9 for a long time, haven't you? Jang Pyeong honestly replied, that's right. In the previous battle, there were signs of reaching intermediate level 10, and I began to channel the power within me. But at the critical moment of the breakthrough, I was blocked. Not only did I not level up, but it also felt like I was stuck in my throat. Upon hearing this, Seo-do pointed out, try drinking some blood from Jo Eon-ryung first, then awaken your new skills. After that, I will tell you how to break through. There are no bottlenecks from beginner to intermediate. The reason you cannot break through is that you have too many abilities. Hearing this, Jang Pyeong immediately took Eon-ryung's blood to use. He focused, drawing strength from the blood to level up. Seo-do observed and guided him. Awakened individuals typically have only one unique ability, often having no choice but to decide on the path they want to take. Early on, awakened individuals with multiple abilities must choose one among many, otherwise it will lead to stagnation in levels when upgrading. A brilliant foot appeared in Seo-do's words. Once you determine what you truly want and the path you wish to take in the future, breaking through to intermediate level will naturally follow. Jang Pyeong absorbed the essence of Seo-do's words and continued to focus on leveling up. It activated the innate ability awakening. Blood Tree, the body can extract strength from its own pain. The more painful the experience, the clearer the effect. Note that everything that cannot kill you will make you stronger. At that moment, Jang Pyeong had delved deeply into his mind. He saw a stream of bright power before him, accompanied by the echoing voice of Seo-do. Right now, you need to harness your innate abilities to perceive the changes among the different innate powers within your body. Carefully acknowledge each of your abilities and keep them in a state of activation, but not activated. Then you need to examine your own heart, clarify the path you wish to take, and understand your truest desires. Your abilities will naturally respond to your internal thoughts. At this moment, as the discerning eye was activated, the power of Gemstone, Covenant of the Awakened, the bright fog gatekeeper, the strange devourer's form of mist and light, a flame devourer's form of pure water, and the body of pristine bloodline gradually enveloped him. When Jang Pyeong opened his eyes, he frowned. The gemstone contract, at that moment, Seo-do spoke up from behind. How do you feel? Have you made a choice yet? Jang Pyeong was filled with power, but deep down he was extremely hesitant. There are too many choices. Is there really no win-win solution? Hearing this question, Seo-do helplessly said, for this matter, just look into your own heart. I have no way to decide this for you. Jang Pyeong heard this and looked at his hands, which were radiating a powerful energy deep in thought. In fact, what made him most hesitant was the contract with the gemstone and the all-consuming entity. The gemstone contract is his fundamental ability. Most of his powers actually stem from it. Thinking about it, he closed his eyes and began to use the firepower and the strange colored energy surrounding the blue stone. He continued to hesitate, but the all-consuming entity was the power that helped him nurture the above-mentioned formidable ability. In the end, he unleashed 3 types of power: fire, water, and darkness. Whether it was the strange devourer's form of mist and light, pure water body, or pure bloodline, blood tree, these skills were among the most powerful types. It can be said that although the all-consuming entity originates from the gemstone contract, its potential is no less than that of the gemstone contract itself. Finally, Jang Pyeong's body radiated a brilliant blue light. He had made a decision. What he needed to do now was to choose one of these 2 abilities as the core for his advancement. Saju looked at the power that Jang Pyeong was emitting and was very satisfied. It seems you have found the answer, haven't you? The system displayed a success notification for advancement. Jang Pyeong, level 10, intermediate awakening. At this moment, Jang Pyeong felt that the surroundings were no longer as still as before and wondered, could it be that I have leveled up? Appraisal. The system displayed a successful appraisal notification. The attribute table appeared. Jang Pyeong has now reached level 10, awakening to the intermediate level. The gemstone contract has reached level 7. Additionally, intermediate advanced skills have been unlocked. The intermediate contract is limited. Type 1, Gemstone Martial Covenant. Type 2, Gemstone Sacred Relic Accord. Type 3, Gemstone Fruit of the Covenant. Jang Pyeong looked at the attributes and skills with a bit of astonishment. Although he only leveled up once, there is a significant difference between a primary awakening and an intermediate awakening in terms of proficiency. At this moment, Jang Pyeong raised his hand and skillfully controlled the flames. He suddenly felt that both his stamina and spirit had improved greatly. He was able to release the Fire Devourer Flame Bind accurately. His control over his abilities was also much more meticulous. Sugyu, seeing Jang Pyeong masterfully controlling the flames, expressed his satisfaction. Have you successfully leveled up? He also happily replied, yes. Jang Pyeong looked at the flames in his hand with great excitement. No wonder after Sesel reached the intermediate level, there was combat power available. It turns out that after reaching the intermediate level, the control power visibly increased. In an instant, a red stone formed from the flames. He created the Martial Covenant. Unexpectedly, moments later, the stone transformed into a sharp weapon. He held it and pressed it to the ground, creating a crack. In his heart, he marveled, with just the enhanced skills, even a useless transparent gemstone can be utilized. Jang Pyeong observed the weapon for a while before speaking up in admiration. The hardness of the medium-level gemstone is probably comparable to the Myeonju sword. This is an item that is always carried and is also not easily damaged. Saju laughed upon hearing this. Just as I expected, you didn't choose the Devourer, but opted for the gemstone contract as your core upgrade. Jang Pyeong looked at what was in his hand, his expression somewhat unexpected. I would choose the gemstone contract myself. I also considered choosing the Devourer, but in a moment of confusion, I felt it wasn't suitable for me at all. Fortunately, I didn't choose the Devourer. While the Devourer can easily gain power, the price to pay carries many risks. As he spoke, he imagined his body being burned to ashes. Sugyu found this very reasonable. When the Devourer awakens new powers, instances of side effects, and rebound, even death, can be found everywhere. Jang Pyeong added, moreover, although the awakening speed of the gemstone contract is a bit slow, each time it awakens a new innate ability, it is an essential need, like bringing coal on a snowy day. At this moment, a voice suddenly rang out. In the name of the patrol team, specially recruited awakened individuals will gradually eliminate and use a year to eradicate potential threats. This voice left Jang Pyeong extremely astonished, for he recognized who it belonged to. It was Wol Seo-jin. After that, Jang Pyeong and Seo-du returned to the meeting room. Seo-du began to explain the plan. Based on Jang Pyeong's news, Wol Seo-jin is speeding up the elimination of experts in Myeonju, using the pretext of the patrol team to recruit a large number of awakened individuals. Hearing this, John Myeong skeptically asked, does that mean they're going to take action against those who previously participated in the fighting? Seo-du sighed and replied, that's highly likely. At this moment, Jang Pyeong proposed an idea. I've decided to go back to Myeonju, find martial arts schoolmaster Bu to clarify the situation and see if there's a way to rescue them from the city. Upon hearing this suggestion, John Myeong immediately opposed. No way, that's too dangerous. At this time, Jang Pyeong imagined the heavenly eternal Fox King holding So Jang-gyo, which made him even more furious. If we pretend to ignore the situation, those people will end up like the patrol team, being silently swallowed and replaced. Sessa quickly placed her hand on his chest. I also want to contribute a little. It's too dangerous for you to go back alone. I'll go back with you. Manny also wanted to help and spoke up. We'll go 2. Contacting familiar awakened individuals this way will be faster. However, Sudyu once again spoke up to stop Manny and the others. We cannot distinguish whether the awakened individuals have been replaced by the heavenly eternal fox or not. It's very easy to be exposed right now. Jang Pyeong recalled his dark abilities and confidently took the lead. I've leveled up to a mid-level awakened. If I sneak in alone, even if I'm discovered, I am confident I can leave safely. Jang Pyeong strongly opposed. I object. Right now, Myeongju is like a ticking time bomb. Do you have any idea how important you are at this moment? Jang Pyeong was not pleased either and bluntly retorted, I know, but I can't just stand by and watch our comrades get devoured by the heavenly eternal fox. He was still shouting a statement. Moreover, I have not avenged Subjong Gyo yet. Sang Si, upon hearing this, anxiously called out his name. Jang Pyeong. He immediately reassured her. Don't worry, I have a way out. Even if I encounter Walsi of Jin, it won't be a problem. Jang Pyeong was still unwilling to back down and determined to stop him. If you really want to go, then defeat me first. Jang Pyeong readily agreed. Fine, go ahead and try. As soon as he finished speaking, Jang Pyeong released a dark aura, transforming into a swift dagger, pressing against Jang Pyeong's throat, leaving him astonished. That was so fast. When did the attack? Aren't you going to raise your hand? The outcome was clear. Jang Pyeong put on his purple mask and said, It seems I have won. Jang Pyeong looked at him in surprise. Is this fog? In the end, he had to accept. You have indeed become much stronger since your promotion. Sudyu was also very pleased with the results and praised. A person with limitless ability is not an ordinary awakener. Previously, after I advanced to the intermediate level, I could kill new beasts beyond my level. But Jang Pyeong could already kill mid-level awakened individuals when he was at the primary level. He is more outstanding than I am and has much higher potential. He excitedly raised his finger and continued. Therefore, I do not oppose Jang Pyeong going back to Myeongju. But before that, I have a treasure I want to entrust to you. Hearing this, Jang Pyeong quickly spoke up. Wait a moment, I also have something I'd like to ask of Jang Soo-jung. Soo-jung was taken aback upon hearing this. Me. Immediately, he used identification on Soo-jung. The system identified. The technological skill related to fat can convert fat in the body into material energy, then combine the material energy to create various items within the user's knowledge. Additionally, it can recover material energy and reconstruct the original form. Soo-jung was still smiling as he replied, Jang Pyeong, how can I help you? He hurriedly led Soo-jung outside, talking as they walked. You can help with something big, but it's not convenient to discuss here. Just follow me. Just a moment later, the sounds of arguing and shouting echoed continuously. What? Jang Pyeong, save a little for me. Don't be so stingy. Anyway, your flesh will grow back, and since it's not from your body, you shouldn't care. Hearing this left the others speechless. A while later, Jang Pyeong walked in and thanked Soo-jung. At that moment, Manny curiously asked, What did you ask Jang Soo-jung to do? Unexpectedly, Soo-jung entered looking like just skin over bones, shocking Manny to the core. Jang Soo-jung, what happened to you? At that moment, in the secret chamber of the extermination team, Jang Pyeong and Sa-du stood before a dark scythe. Jang Pyeong asked Sa-du, Sir, what is this? Sa-du recalled his glory days, remembering how he used this weapon to cut through monsters, and proudly said, This dark scythe is called a soul scythe. It not only instills fear in creatures, but can also evolve the dark scythe through blood absorption. In my youth, I used it to slaughter tens of thousands of mutant beasts, absorbing the fresh blood of countless mutant beasts. Even now, in terms of hardness and sharpness, this dark scythe is still considered rare in the world. It's not an exaggeration to call it a divine weapon. The soul scythe is the most suitable weapon. If you take it back to Myeongju now, when you encounter enemies, it can also increase your chances of victory. Upon hearing this, Jang Pyeong immediately grabbed the scythe in his hand and smiled confidently. Out of nowhere, a gigantic evil spirit suddenly appeared from the soul scythe. Seeing this, he was extremely satisfied and thanked the captain. At this moment, Sudyu seemed to have sensed something, smiled knowingly, and spoke up. It seems someone is still not at ease. Just as my energy has run out, I will return to the embrace to leave the energy here. The two conversed leisurely. Just when Sudyu vanished, Sesa appeared again. Unexpectedly, the scar on Sesa suddenly disappeared, replaced by an incredibly beautiful appearance. Jang Pyeong looked at her in surprise. Sesa, the injury on your face. She smiled and replied, We have agreed to talk properly with each other as friends, not as teammates. Ryu Sesa and Jang Pyeong sat under the soft moonlight, whispering to each other. She gently began to speak first. I have emerged from the mental illusion and remember the person who healed my face. The previous incident helped me realize that my abilities were too weak, so I will no longer stubbornly cling to my own ways. I will rely on everyone's strength to defeat Yoseol together. Ryusase tilted her head slightly and glanced at him. Your determination to return to Myeonju alone, is it also out of stubbornness for that friend of yours? Jang Pyeong was silent for a moment and then smiled softly. After leveling up to a mid-level awakened being, I did indeed have this thought. After all, I feel my strength has increased significantly. He recalled the time he had to pretend to be asleep in front of Wall Seo-jin and told her about it. I'm no longer a helpless weakling who can only pretend to sleep when Wall Seo-jin gets close. She listened to him speak, then appeared worried. Jang Pyeong. He smiled brightly to reassure her. Don't worry, take it slow. I can still distinguish between heavy and light matters. This time, returning to Myeonju mainly, I'm going to save people. Jang Pyeong frowned seriously. As for the revenge of So Jong-gyo, if there isn't a suitable opportunity, he won't act recklessly. Ryu Sasel leaned back, glancing at him. But you're coming back alone. I'm still not quite at ease. Jang Pyeong held up an object in his hand for her to see. I have a secret weapon taken from Jang Soo-jung. Nothing will happen. Inside Myeonju City, where many monsters roamed freely, Jang Pyeong was dressed completely to cover himself, carefully observing his surroundings. He thought clearly. The heavenly eternal fox in the city has increased patrols. He hid in a corner, watching all movements around, temporarily sealing off Myeonju Square. Unauthorized personnel are not allowed to enter. Seju suddenly appeared behind him and whispered, No need to worry about me for a while. That old fox can't do anything to me. On the contrary, have you thought of a way to handle it yet? Jang Pyeong's gaze became sharp. I've already thought of it. In the study of the Warrior Beast King Boxing Club, Bu Rei-seum was focused on work when he noticed fog creeping into his room. When Jang Pyeong entered, he immediately revealed himself. Martial arts schoolmaster Bu, it's me. Bu Rei-seum was delighted to see him and stood up. Ah, you, my brother Jang Pyeong. Where have you been these past few days? Since that day, I've wanted to thank you in person, but I haven't been able to find you until now. He smiled awkwardly and said, This is a long story. After a while telling tales of the sky and the sea, Jang Pyeong summarized the situation as such. I wonder if martial arts schoolmaster Bu would be willing to help me. He crossed his arms and looked at him seriously. The city lord left Myeonju a long time ago. The one who holds practical control now is the heavenly eternal fox. What you're saying is really hard to believe. At that moment, a voice interrupted. Sec leader, Captain Lin of the patrol team requests to see you. Bu Rei-seum ordered. Take him to the reception room. I will come shortly. The other replied clearly. Jang Pyeong looked directly into his eyes. A patrol has been replaced by the heavenly eternal fox. Martial arts schoolmaster Bu can tell at a glance whether I am telling the truth or lying. In a reception room, everyone was led inside according to the instructions. Bu Rei-seum entered cheerfully to welcome his guests. Apologies for the rudeness. I didn't expect Captain Lin to come by. Lin Ki-vi crossed his arms, confident in demeanor, and smiled at him. I came to congratulate martial arts schoolmaster Bu. He immediately became alert. I wonder where this good news for me is coming from. Lin Ki-di, accompanied by a few heavenly eternal fox behind him, spoke seriously. The city lord has decided to appoint martial arts schoolmaster Bu as the vice city lord of Myeongju. An announcement will be made to the entire city in a few days. He glanced at the monsters behind him, thinking, Is this the true form of the heavenly eternal fox? Bu Rei-seum politely smiled lightly. I sincerely thank the great sea lord for his affection. He completed his mission and immediately turned away to leave. Now that the news has been delivered, I will return to fulfill my orders. He clenched his fist, suppressing the boiling anger inside him. I apologize for troubling Captain Lin. Please convey my gratitude to the city lord on my behalf. In his heart, he cursed their parents and ancestors. How dare these beasts? Jang Pyeong had used pure bloodline, resonating vision, to directly participate anonymously in the conversation. Just now, he saw someone and came out. Martial arts schoolmaster Bu. He looked at him and calmly reassured. Don't worry, I won't do anything foolish. The disparity in power between us and the enemy is too great. Bu Rei-seum opened the door and led him to another place to talk. You must have come to see me with a plan in mind. He got straight to the point. Speak. What do you need my help with? He immediately stated his request. I hope martial arts schoolmaster Bu can take this opportunity to be promoted to deputy city lord and host a banquet for the awakened who participated in the defense of Myeongju to celebrate. He spoke as he walked. We will inform those who have not been replaced by the heavenly eternal fox of the situation. Bu Rei-seum led Jang Pyeong to where people were training. He continued about his plan. Those who are willing to leave with me will exit the city through the transport door. Those who do not wish to leave will also be aware of the heavenly eternal Foxa plan. This way, we can prepare and avoid being easily controlled by them. He clenched his teeth. Indeed, some people burdened by family obligations might not choose to leave. Jang Pyeong agreed with his opinion. Right now, in this situation, the only things we can do are these few actions. From Jang Pyeong's perspective, everyone in the training room was a heavenly eternal fox. He glanced over and reported to him. Your boxing club also has quite a few students who have been replaced. Bu Rei-seon looked down in anger, surprised that my small boxing club had so many hidden trash as well. He looked over at Jang Pyeong. What you have done is more than enough. In a situation where it is difficult to distinguish between friend and foe, who can ensure everyone's safety? Bu Rei-seon patted him lightly on the shoulder, encouraging, "Do it your way. I will do my best to cooperate." Jang Pyeong bowed his head, showing gratitude to martial arts schoolmaster Bu. "You should be the one to be thanked. At least you have given us hope to eliminate that herd of beasts." At that moment, a familiar figure walked by, catching his attention. This was the monster disguised as So Jong-gyo. As soon as he saw it, his blood boiled with rage. It is the beast that killed So Jong-gyo. The one in charge was leisurely observing everything. Nak Sai-yu asked, "Has anything unusual happened in Myeongju recently?" Lin Ki-di reported, "Your Highness, everything is normal. It's just that recently Bu Rei-seon is preparing to host a party." She smiled contemptuously. Just became deputy lord and is in a hurry to show off. Bu Rei-seon is nothing more than this. So Jeongeo walked up to ask, "Your Highness, do we need to send someone to keep watch?" She glanced sideways. "No need. He is just taking the opportunity to collect gifts and loot wealth. A person like him poses no threat to me." Nak Sai-yu examined his own hand. "We should seriously investigate the actions of those rats from the sweep team." She laughed menacingly, revealing her true form as a hideous monster, especially that person named Jang Pyeong. Both responded clearly. At the party of Bu Rei-seon, everyone came to congratulate him. "Congratulations, martial arts schoolmaster Bu, or rather we should call you Bu City Master now. I hope you will look after us in the future." "That's right, we hope City Master Bu will guide us a bit." Bu Rei-seon smiled lightly. "You are all too courteous." At that moment, one of his subordinates came over and whispered, "Sect leader, he is whispering something to you with a very serious expression." Upon hearing this, he immediately bid farewell to everyone. "I'm sorry, everyone, I have something to attend to. Please excuse me. I'm sorry I can't continue the conversation." Bu Rei-seon smiled awkwardly. "I'm sorry for not being a good host. I hope everyone understands." Fortunately, everyone there was polite. "City Master Bu, if you have matters to attend to, just go ahead." Lin Ki-di, seeing him leave, looked disdainful and remarked, "Don't bother following him. Let's go. Bu Rei-seon is just as your Highness predicted, merely taking the opportunity to loot wealth." At that moment, a tall figure caught So Jong-gyo's eye. She couldn't help but exclaim, "The appearance of that girl is truly extraordinary." He looked on as well. "Are you looking at her?" Lin Ki-di, uninterested, moved away first. "Then you stay here and take your time. Remember, this place is crowded. Be careful with every action. It's best to wait until after the party if you want to do anything." So Jeongeo laughed in a creepy manner. "Yes, Bu Rei-seon has gathered some important people for a private conversation." Baek-du wondered, "Mayor Bu, may I ask why you summoned us here?" He looked at everyone. "I really did call everyone here because there is an urgent matter to discuss regarding the specific situation. It's better to let him explain." The pure bloodline had become ineffective. Jang Pyeong appeared before everyone with a cool demeanor. "Hello, Professor Baek." Baek-du and the others were surprised when he appeared, their mouths agape. Jang Pyeong, after a while of explaining the situation, everyone began to argue. "How can this be?" "That's right, if what you're saying is true, doesn't that mean Myeongju has already fallen into enemy hands for a long time? I have been in contact with Lin Ki-di and some other members of the patrol team. Indeed, they have been a bit unusual lately." Jin Wai-hwa also agreed. "That's true. The mayor hasn't shown up in a long time." Bu Rei-seon gently called out to attract everyone's attention. He spoke. "Everyone listen to me for a moment. Everything is as my brother Jang Pyeong said. I have personally confirmed the existence of the heavenly eternal fox." Bu Rei-seon continued. "These beasts are skilled in disguise, and it's very difficult for us to distinguish them. Right now, among the people at the party outside, there are quite a few who have been replaced by the heavenly eternal fox." He clenched his fist and pressed it against his chest. "Everyone here has been my friend for many years. If you trust me, I hope you will lend me a hand." Jin Wai-hwa immediately agreed. "If there is anything we can do, please let us know, Mayor Bu." Baek-du also agreed. That's right, Jang Pyeong is my student. Moreover, we have fought shoulder to shoulder. I trust both of you. Jang Pyeong felt more at ease when he saw that everyone had agreed. To deal with the heavenly eternal fox, we need to temporarily compromise for the common good and preserve our strength. He presented his sealed paper. Those on this list have not been replaced by the heavenly eternal fox. We can split up and inform them about the current situation. Everyone received their papers. He continued, soon the raid team will activate the teleportation here. Jang Pyeong made his plan clear. If you are willing to leave with us, then please ask them to step out through the main door, return here, and leave through the teleportation gate. The disheveled one still hesitated. Is it really urgent? What about our families? Bu Rei-Sian grasped the disheveled one's shoulder. This is merely a desperate measure. Right now, the only one who can identify the heavenly eternal fox in disguise is Jang Pyeong. In this list, we cannot promptly tell if any of their families includes a heavenly eternal fox. He looked off into the distance at the others. Therefore, if information leaks, the heavenly eternal fox may hasten to eliminate the awakened. So if you decide to stay, you must be vigilant towards the unusual staff around or temporarily lead your families out of the patrol's control. Baek-deuk shook his head in helplessness. That's right, with so many staff around, it's quite difficult to ensure that no information gets leaked. Jang Pyeong summoned a small flame in his hand. I will observe quietly. If the heavenly eternal fox at the party shows any unusual signs, I will use the flame to signal everyone. Bu Rei-Sian felt that the plan was settled and prepared for the next action. I apologize for the trouble caused to everyone. When the party ended, everyone happily said their goodbyes. Yes, Baek-deuk, I will take my leave first. Let's drink and chat again when we have time. Thank you. Tomorrow, I will definitely host a banquet for him. We can chat and reminisce, Lord Mayor. I also bid goodbye. Bu Rei-Sian bowed to the guests. If the hospitality was not sufficient, I hope everyone can understand. Jang Pyeong was hiding and observing as everyone left one by one. He silently thought that he had informed most of the people at the party already. At the moment, it seemed that the heavenly eternal fox had not noticed anything unusual. Suddenly, Sub-Jong-gyu appeared and reminded him, Jang Pyeong, be careful. He took her warning seriously, immediately becoming alert and glancing around. Sub-Jong-gyu, what is she warning me about? At that moment, his gaze met someone. It was a fake Sub-Jong-gyu, approaching step by step. Jang Pyeong almost recognized her. So that beast has come. It seems to be targeting Jin Wai-hwa. He quickly thought of a way to lure it away. If not, then once it discovers any clues, the entire plan will fall apart. So Jong-gyu began to approach Jin Wai-hwa. Sister Wai-hwa, why are you in such a hurry? Jin Wai-hwa turned around when she heard someone calling her. Oh, it's you, Jong-gyu. What's the matter? So Jong-gyu made a suggestion. Since I'm on the way, I saw you walking alone, so I want to stroll with you. Is that okay? She agreed without any suspicion. Sure. Jang Pyeong smiled with delight, thinking, this rotten fox, you dared to show up, just in time to give you a chance to take action. Then he jumped in, joining the conversation between the two. What a coincidence. The cloak of invisibility had been tucked away in the golden bracelet. Jang Pyeong confidently stepped forward to officially confront the impersonator of So Jong-gyu. Long time, no see.